All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the preview to Selection Sunday. And we have some more acquisitions, as always, that keep making these decisions harder and harder. And, the CFO took this week off, and so we kind of have to go to square one here and kind of dwindle it down so we have an understanding of what we might do on Selection Sunday show. So, LeBron James is one of the highlight acquisitions. We'll talk about that later in a boardroom discussion. There's a lot to catch up on. Obviously Giannis and the Joker are really good options. So for me, that's kind of where I'm going to be spending my time. I might take a look at some other options here, but really the Beal and Zion guys that I would maybe look to only are playing 3 games this week. Zion kind of disappointed me this past week. If we take a look at the current leaderboard and see, who the players were in the 2-point category, Zach LaVine's someone that we don't have on the roster, so we're going to take a look into that. Good to see that Embiid decided to play this week when we decided to sit him. And, Giannis is kind of in the mix, Joker. So, to kind of take a look from a stats, again, we're looking at the last 4 games. This is a very small sample size, but it's kind of what have you done for me lately sort of thing. And Joker's definitely sitting there 22, looks like 22 points a game. Embiid obviously had a good week. We saw that. Let's see where's Giannis? All the way down here, but he's not making many threes, so it's 18, right? AD's looking good. It looks like Joker. Where's LeBron at? I think Giannis might be the better option. So right now, my early favorites are Giannis and Joker. So that's kind of the start to the 2-point option. If you look at the 3-point option, like Steph Curry is, again, kind of a popular pick. Some Dame Lillard. We went Dame Lillard. Their game got banged tonight, so that extra pinball in the pinball machine didn't come through. I'm learning from that. I feel like, there's really no option other than to go with Steph here this week. Looks like we're losing internet here, so that's an interesting development. And we're back. Sorry about that. We had briefly lost internet, and as we were saying, Steph Curry was really, really hot this week. He had 11 3-point baskets last night. That's why you're seeing some really high scores. Again, if you're looking here at in the current leaderboard, we're sitting at 21, but like Steph Curry's all over the board. Dame had a nice night last night. He dropped 6 3-point baskets last night, but compared to Steph's 11, that's really a no-brainer. With him playing 4 games this week, it's just someone that we're going to have to lock in. Of course, he's probably not going to stay hot, but for me, Steph Curry's just the obvious pick. Assists, looking into what happened this week, it looks like Luka and Trae were good options. You see Chris Paul sprinkled in, TJ McConnell. Yeah, I guess he had a good week. But those are maybe the 3 guys: Trae Young, Luka, and Chris Paul. And for us, we don't have the Luka, although we will get him soon in the Cool Cat Challenge. We are, for this week, going to take a look now at the assists. And so, Trae Young was really good. James Harden, might continue to be a good pick. Luka. So I think, it comes down to the games, and Trae Young's playing 3 and Chris Paul is playing 4. So remind me, where was Chris Paul on this list? Yeah, so not quite as good. So that's something that we're going to have to consider. That'll be a good selection show sort of decision where we're really between Trae Young and Chris Paul. I think we'll do our due diligence on Brogdon and Lillard. But those are kind of the guys that we're looking at. And then, Rudy kind of slipped this week. If we look into the leaderboard, it's no longer just Rudy. Jimmy Butler, I think that's a steal. Jared Allen's had a nice week. The Boucher guy's done okay. Nerlens Noel's kind of been the leader. Moving into the stats, to keep a tab on that. Not really seeing familiar faces there in the steal category. But you do see Nerlens Noel there. And then Rudy slightly behind. But because Rudy's there and he's kind of our guy, it's going to take a lot to get me off of him. But we'll, consider those two guys. The Derek Jones Jr. is an alluring, cool cat option with 4 games this week. I feel like we traded away this asset, so this asset is no longer an option. And Fred VanVleet's always an interesting play. But that's kind of what we have going on. Like I said, we'll do a board meeting later today to kind of show where we are at with the 3 packs we purchased. It glitched. We had 3 packs. After consideration, I decided I wanted to open them, and I want to kind of review what I got, what those low market asks were, and see kind of where the value of these packs were. Certainly compared to what Series 1 were. A bunch more demand, but maybe not quite the same price point. So we will see how that shakes out. But for now, thanks for listening.